Well, folks, you join me today at the lovely place called Mundesley on the Norfolk coast. Just have a look at how pretty this is. We're on an elevated view here, and we have the pub. So we're going to have a little walk around Mundesley, maybe go down to the beach, and then have a look along the main promenade. Well guys, we're on the main coast road. Very oldie worldy mixed in with modern, but overall very nice. So if you're visiting Norfolk, everybody's heard of Cromer, Great Yarmouth and Hunstanton. This is one of the little seaside towns. This ain't even a seaside town. There's Mrs. Man Cave. She's actually came out today. I've took Mrs. Man Cave out because she's had a bad couple of weeks after she had a last lot of chemotherapy with some highfalutin infusion. She ain't really been out the house for a fortnight. She's been resting up. That's why you haven't seen much of her. But yes, we're now outside the ship pub, so I think I'm going to have a little walk down to the seaside. Looks a very nice little pub. Are you coming down here, Rachel, or not? You are. Right, Mrs. Man Cave is following. So, weren't sure whether she'd come down here because we've got to get up again. This is quite steep, quite the place. But here we are. We're coming down to Mundesley Beach. So if any of you guys are wondering, is this sandy or shingle? Well, you'll see. Down the steps we come. Here we go. So yes, please guys, if you do visit Norfolk, the big seaside towns are nice, but like most other seaside towns, very commercial. Quite expensive. You get your little village beaches like this. Personally, I'd rather somewhere like this than what I would the busy seaside towns which are full of arcades and all that business. But as you can see, we've got a lovely walk up there if we want to do it. I mean, what date are we today? I think we're about the 9th of October today, so we're quite late in the year. Yet it's an absolutely beautiful day. Just look at that. Absolutely lovely. Oops, Rachel's made it down. So yes, we'll have a walk up by the beach huts and see what's going on up there. And then I think there's another path, go up that bank, which will take us to the little building at the top, the little white one you can see with the masts. There we go. That's gotta be the smallest museum I've ever seen. That, believe it or not, is a museum, and that's about 8 foot by 20 foot, I think. Right, good advert for Lucy's there, but there we are. This is Mundesley, guys, so if any of you folks ever do come to Norfolk, please, please, please take a drive around the coast road. It is gorgeous around here. Over the back there, I hope you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. See the Humpty Dumpty there? Right, the one on the left, not sure what that is. The one on the right is Haysborough Lighthouse, I believe. The famous red and white lighthouse, what we have here in Norfolk, and it's a functioning lighthouse as well. Right, we'll be back in a minute. I think we're going to sit for a second on the bench and enjoy ourselves. here we go, walking along the seafront. We have some beach huts. Quite a way up to the top there. There's Lucy's restaurant. And here we go, we're on the beach huts. I don't know how expensive the beach huts are here in Mundesley. I know if you used to get one in Hunstanton, they're expensive. Wells next to sea, very expensive. Don't know what they're priced like out this way. Of course, this is North Norfolk, pretty much. You know, I was actually born in just, well, West Norfolk really. 10 miles out of King's Lynn. There we go, there's the beach huts. Bright and colourful, quintessentially British. But what a lovely day it is for an October. Just look at that water and that beach. Absolutely beautiful. This is why I love Norfolk, guys. You say we're flat here. Yes, we may not be as hilly as like Yorkshire and the Peak District. But you get anywhere in the Peak District, yeah, you've got hills and mountains, but you've got to drive 100 miles to get anywhere like this. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, that looked like there's the ramp we've got to go up. She's quite a steep one. So we'll come up, see what that's like. I think somebody's in their beach house. Look, there's a towel flapping. So I think somebody is in the beach hut. There's a little dog. Look, he's come for a walk. Look at him. There we go. Yep, someone's in the beach hut. Hello. Definitely a beach hut. Alright, we'd better get up this ramp. Cool. Cameras do not show. They do not show just how steep hills are or undulations. Which is a shame. Why have they put orange boards there? Damaged railings, look. There we go. You can tell how steep this is because we're going way above the beach huts. Well, we have reached the top. There we go. We can go down that side, or we've just come up this side, and we've got this little bit extra to go. Look. You all right? There we go. Coming up to that tiny museum I was telling you about. Mundesley Museum. Exhibits from before the time of the mammoths to the present. There we go. Don't know whether that's open today. It's October. Is it still open? There's a sign out. Maybe it is. If you want to read the sign, there you go. You can read the sign. You can scan the QR code. Look at the map. There. Oh no, that's tide heights. But this is the Mundesley Museum, and look at the size of it. But that brings us to the main green. This is really, there is more to Mundesley village up there, but that's mainly housing. Very oldie worldy. Here we have a missile. A memorial missile, there we go. So you can read that one. And look how well kept this is. Bearing in mind it is October. The whole place still looks very clean, very smart, and considering that's the off season, that's refreshing to see. We have crazy golf there. If Mrs. Mancow's up to that, I'm going to see if she wants to have a go. We've just been in the cafe and had a very agreeable breakfast, and that's good because you've got your cafe and an ice cream parlour. There has to be an amusements, don't there? Public car park. Up there is where we started the video, outside the shit pub. So yes, this video is really for the little main touristy bit of Mundesley, but it is certainly worth a visit. It really is. I do like that little museum. Well folks, we have moved on to sea Pauling. We are now sitting in a trendy little beach hut, little fairy lights, heater going. It is really nice here. So let's turn the camera around and we'll go for a walk on this beach. I wonder if we can find any beach tractors. There was none at the last beach. Let's have a look. Right. Inside the hut, oh, the heater, the little lights. This is really cool. We've just ate a couple of agreeable sundaes. Trust me, they are lovely. So we'll have a walk out there. Here we go. Here is Sea Pauling Beach. And them sundaes, honestly, they are the best sundaes you've ever had. Hot donut, ice cream, absolutely beautiful. Served here, look, there we go. There's Mrs. Mancave. Right. I do like the old flood siren here. I remember seeing this damn thing here 30 years ago when I first came here. Look at the old flood siren, look. Isn't that cool? Isn't that just cool? I would love one of them in the shed. Anyhow, we've got all the beach signs, fish and chips. This is literally Sea Pauling. This is all you can see. There's a little bit of village up there, but the seaside bit of it, you got ice cream, fish and chips. I think that's a toilet and a bar. And then, oh, we got this track up to the beach. I know along the coast there's a lot of beach tractors, but whether we can see any here, I don't know. Cool, that's a steep old hill walking up here, I can tell you. There's a lot of beach tractors around Sheringham way, or around Kelly. Years ago, last time I was at Sea Pauling, there was a big old pipe had been washed up, where a cargo ship lost a load of huge plastic pipes. The lashings come undone and they all dropped off the side, and for weeks they were washing up on the beach. And there was actually a pipe blocking between the two stone barriers. And that was quite the attraction. There we go, see the two stone barriers, there was pipes washed up. Again, two of them, blocking them off. Can't see any beach tractors. This beach, very sandy. Sea Pauling. I see there's some tarmac sort of disintegrating into the sand. People, lovely sand dunes here, absolutely lovely. Oh look, we can walk out. What do they call them? Them groups of them groups of stones what they put out to sea. There's a name for them, isn't there? Danger, keep off the rocks. There's the lifeguard station, there's nobody in it. Oh, we can walk out to the rocks. Look, there's a little cutway in the sand. Don't worry, it's low tide. High tide isn't until 9 o'clock tonight. And I think now we must be about, I don't know, 2 in the afternoon, I think. So we're at low tide now. In fact, the tide is still going out. We're not quite at low tide. I think that might be on the turn, actually. So that we're going to be all right just to walk out to them rocks. So yes, Sea Pauling Beach. We've just been through Walcott. I didn't get any footage there. Angie, Dave, if you're watching this, sorry I didn't pop in. I went till we got here. I said to Rachel, well, Chris, we've just been to Walcott. We could have gone and seen Dave and Ange. But there you go. So if you guys are watching, hello. This beautiful beach here. Look at this. Weather's clouded over a little. It has clouded over, but this is a beautiful sandy beach. Just the odd stone you get higher up. And yeah, pure sand. So if you're after a sandy beach, Sea Pauling is it. I say these are the beaches what us locals know about. But they fall a little bit out of the tourist trap. Do you know what I mean? Because like I say, most people, when they come to Norfolk, you either go West Norfolk to Hunstanton, or you work your way around the coast road and go either Hunstanton, Holcombe, Wells, or Hunstanton, Brancaster, Holcombe, Wells, or Wells next to sea. And then you know, and then the people tend to go on to Sheringham, Cromer and Great Yarmouth. You know, places like Overstrand, Trimmingham, Mundesley, Sea Pauling. They're beautiful beaches like this. Yet they fall just under that radar. We're being lawbreakers now, look. We're actually going out. We're actually going out to the rocks. Now believe me, it ain't very often you can get out to these rocks, because these are normally like that, surrounded by sea. But today we seem to have had a big old batch of sand wash up here, which are allowing us to very unusually get out to the rocks. I've never got out to these rocks before, because I've never seen this bit of sand here before. But obviously we had a special tide last night, which has formed all this sand here. You'll probably find 3 weeks from now this sand will all have moved and gone, and you won't go to these rocks again. But I say, this is hard sand as well. That's not that old soft sand you're sinking in. This is like sand with good footing. So that's not saturated. It's not quick. Yeah, you can never get out to these rocks. I see someone's been out here with the dogs. There's dog footprints. Aren't we got to find no crab anywhere? I reckon if you had a little spade and dug down, you know, you'd find a crab. What have we got here? What have we got here? What have we got here? What? My glasses. What have we got there? Look. We have found a shell. Look at that. We've found a stone with several limpets on it. Look at that. One stone, what I'm holding on to, and there's all these limpets got on there. Isn't that lovely? Let's go put this in the water, because that feels like that's something alive. Yeah, these feel sort of alive. Wonder what they are. Let's go put them in the water. See what they do. There we go. Let's have a look. Are they got to come or anything, or? I don't know. I think they need to be a little bit more submerged than what they are. Let's get that out there a little bit. There you go, they're underwater now, look. Hopefully that's saved the little sods, whatever they are. There you go. Now somewhere over here, I just picked that them thing up. I dropped my damn glasses. But I had a shell in one hand and phone in another. Where are my glasses? There they are, look. The good old man cave. Good old man cave readers. Right, we are out to... Yeah, we're out to the rocks. I don't know how long these rocks have been here. 15, 20 years, I think. I remember there was a big bit on the news when all these rocks were bought in. Took months and months and months. They bought these in by the container ship full, and that was quite the operation to drop all them to avoid coastal erosion, because unfortunately, there you go, there's the beach where we just come from. There's the ramp right over there. Unfortunately, this is one of them parts of Norfolk what you hear about on the news that's suffering badly with coastal erosion. In fact, Walcott, what's the other ones? Ormsby, I think it is. Some of them are very much basically falling into the sea every winter, you know. Of course, the tides are getting higher and higher in the winters, and they're just, well, they used to be like this. Before all these stones were put in, this place was getting washed away. I mean, you got your big concrete walls coming across, but the other side of them, you can see the concrete walls there. But where the walls end, there, look at that. You can see where the banks are just getting washed into the sea, because that's where the concrete walls end. You know? And unfortunately, a lot of the villages in Norfolk along the coast have little to none of that wall. And I'm afraid to see us coming in, and every high tide, if the wind's right, that's taken another couple of feet of the cliff off. So the next thing you know, that's starting to encroach into the village. If you look at some history on Norfolk, what's it called now? I can't remember. But there's a village that was lost to the sea about 100 years ago. The whole village got taken by the sea. They couldn't stop it. And that included an old church. And rumour has it, of course, that where that village was is now about sort of, I think it's about half a mile actually out to sea now where that village was. It's took that much land. And there's rumour that on a stormy night, if you stand and listen, you can hear the church bell ringing out to sea. I know it's a old wives' tale, but I can hear an airplane. I'm looking at that, I can hear something, but I can't see it. But yes, an old wives' tale, I'm sure, but very noteworthy. If I remember when I edit this video, I'll Google it and tell you the name of the old village. It's a village now that don't exist at all. It's totally resigned in the history books, but there are some very early sketches of the village and church. Sketches or even photographs. An aeroplane up there somewhere. I think he's in the clouds. So yes, there you go. We're away from them. I can't remember what they call them banks of stone. Don't that begin with C? Cringes or something? Oh crikey, I can't remember. Cranks, I ain't got a clue. There is a name for them banks of stone. So yes. So like I was saying, guys, if you ever do visit Norfolk on your holidays, some of you probably do know about these places, but a lot of tourists don't. Like say, they head for the big places. Trust me, Yarmouth, dive, absolute dive. The seafront on Yarmouth is half decent. You get off that seafront and go down the back streets, the whole place is dilapidated, deprived, run down. In the winter, the unemployment there is absolutely sky high. Crime rate sky high. Honestly, Great Yarmouth is a huge dive. I'm sorry, but it really is a huge dive. The road getting to it down the Achill Strait is absolutely atrocious. I've never had a problem with it, but it's been deemed one of these very dangerous roads because it's long and straight, but it's only single carriageway, and people do tend to overtake and come unstuck because there's a few hidden dips and one rogue corner in that road, and that catch people out, and all of a sudden there's someone coming the other way. So yes, Great Yarmouth, no, it really isn't a nice place. So the circus is good at Yarmouth though. There is a traditional old-fashioned circus there, hundreds of years old. Right, we're back at the beach. Rachel, she sits, there she sits. So she's in a sitting post. The lifeguards are gone home. Well, it's October, I don't think they're out this time of year. But there we go, sea hauling. Another one of Norfolk's hidden gems. Just look at that beach.